The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the Pizza Ranch studio. I'm Scoreboard Guy, and we'll talking some Friday Night Lights, high school football scoreboard show presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks. Great Southern Bank, Chevy dealers, the Bank of Billings, Shelter Insurance, and Labor's Local 663. Certainly tuned in, and as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 and buckle up. Hey, you care about those folks in your car? Well, you should. They're riding with you. Hey, don't put that car in drive until everyone else is buckled up. On to the scoreboard, and having just gone final in exciting fashion, Nixa 22, Carthage 21. Nixa scores with 1:57 remaining in the contest. They go for the 2-point conversion, and they get it. 2 plays into Carthage's drive. Nixa then intercepts Carthage, and they intercepts Carthage, and they hang on to win. First, real quick here, we'll run through the finals that we do have at this time. It was Live for Life 28, John Burroughs to 3. DeKalb, Illinois over Belleville West 48-0. It was SLU falling to CBC 63-35. Timberland over Vianney 63-13. O'Fallon shuts out Wabassi Valley out of Illinois 40-0. DeSmet shuts out Chaminade 40-0 as well. East St. Louis they lose to Creekside, Georgia 10-8. Elsewhere, Columbia in a forfeit, they defeat Alton Marquette. Other finals, and we're looking for them right now. Webb City over Republic 35-14. Fort Zumwalt North over Fort Zumwalt East 37-0. Herman defeats St. James 38-6. Rockhurst falls to Liberty North 10-7. Big game in the Kansas City area. It was Blair Oaks rolling over Osage 56-13. Those are the finals we have so far at this time. Got a game in progress. Potosi leads Park Hill Central 28-7. Melville at the half 27-0 over Parkway South. Final, Civic Memorial falls to Roxana 42-0. Union defeats Sullivan 29-12. Cape Girardeau Central over Poplar Bluff 14-7. It was Centralia shutting out Palmyra 35-0. Eldon defeats Versailles 75-14. Springfield Central with a big win over Cuba 54-8. Other finals, Monroe City over Highland 46-8. Joplin narrowly defeats Ozark 29-22. Pacific and St. Clair. Pacific leads right now in the fourth quarter 49-14. Eureka is trailing Kirkwood 17-14. That game in the fourth quarter. Valley Catholic shuts out Fredericktown 59-0. Elsewhere, on the Thursday night over Lutheran North 42-21. Nevada shuts out East Newton 68-0. Holt over Washington 33-7. West Plains defeats Hillcrest 55-0. Games tonight, Lockwood in 8-man football defeats Jasper 62-20. It was Albany shutting out Mound City 60-0. Page 2 from the Pizza Ranch studio. Crystal City over Bayless 32-14. Monroe City over Highland 46-8. St. Pius X shuts out Grandview 35-0. And page 3, no final yet for Mount Vernon Aurora. Matchup there. Seneca over Castro 42-7. Central defeats Palmyra 35-0. Live for Life over John Burroughs 38-3. I know some of these are repeat scores. Lutheran St. Charles 45-3 over St. Dominic. Union over Sullivan 29-12. Silo Ridge Golf and Country here on page 5. Silo Ridge Golf and Country, just located just outside of Bolivar, Missouri. You come up and feel what it's like to play on a professional course. One of the nicest courses around, Silo Ridge Golf and Country. North County shuts out DeSoto 42-0. Liberty 28-24 over North Point. DeSmet shuts out Chaminade 40-0. Lindbergh over Fox 35-14. Got to visit with Bailey Harbit, who is now working at Lindbergh High School, was the sports director at KODE, KSN, and Joplin. Had her on our high school game day today. Go and check that out on our Facebook page or at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, Missouri Sports Network on YouTube. Timberland over Vianney 63-13. Camdenton over Waynesville 41-8. Page 7. Not any scores there yet. I just said it's just now getting over here. It's 9:38. Saturday games. St. Mary's out of Kansas will take on Bowling Green. Northeast will take on Central out of Kansas. It'll be Roosevelt at Gateway. Marquette will be at Hazelwood Central. Normandy will be at Hazelwood East. Chaffee will be at Kelly. Parkway North at McClure. Again, these are all games scheduled for tomorrow. Parkway West will be at McClure North. Lutheran South at Priory. Lafayette will be at Riverview Gardens. Edwardsville, Illinois will be at Soldan, and Hannibal will be at Troy Buchanan. East Kansas City will be at University Academy, and MICDS will be at Westminster Christian. Once again, certainly glad everyone has tuned in. You're listening to Friday Night Lights here on the Missouri Sports Network. For all the scores, keep it right here, and we'll be right back after these messages from the cottages at Fairhaven.
Welcome to the cottages at Fairhaven Cove. This resort spans 12 acres on a quiet cove on Table Rock Lake. You will feel right at home in one of the newly renovated cottages. Options include studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom units. These units have been beautifully redone from floor to ceiling and offer both comfort and style. Each cottage has a fully functional kitchen, deck, or balcony with incredible lake view and outdoor entertainment area complete with a grill. Whether a couple or a family, the perfect space awaits you. RV parking at Fairhaven Cove is now available to all guests as well. This is an ideal spot for a weekend getaway or family reunions. 4 full hookup RV parking sites are offered. Each site is complete with a picnic table, grill, Wi-Fi, and digital TV upon request. All guests have access to the numerous amenities that Fairhaven Cove offers. 2 boat docks are available for use. You can take a dip in the lake, fish, or house your boat. Cape Fear, Missouri is not only a great location for boating and water sports, but is also known as the bass capital of the world. The calm waters of the cove is the perfect place to have your next adventure. The resort offers kayak and paddleboard rentals to guests. Life vests are always included. There is a playground for kids to enjoy and hiking trails to explore. An in-ground pool is sure to make a splash with guests of all ages. And what better way to end the day than around a fire? A large fire pit is available for s'mores, fun, and memories. These amenities and more will be sure to entertain you and your family. The Cottages of Fairhaven is on the quiet side of the lake, near Cape Fear Marina and Flat Creek Restaurant. A short drive will take you to Silver Dollar City, Branson Landing, the show boat Branson Bell, abundant shopping, shows, museums, and some of the best golf in the Midwest. Reach out to your host today to book your next vacation.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, the MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Friday Night Lights. I'm Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy, alongside for the next hour plus And we're running through some of the scores. We've reached out to some of the coaches. And again, we're just in week 3 of this, so bear with us here as we go forward. Here's some finals coming in at Twitter. If you'd like to send them to, you can send it at Scoreboard Guy or at Missouri Sports, and we'll make sure and get them on the scoreboard. Just running through what's come through in the last couple of minutes. New Madrid County defeats Dexter 33-7. It was Westrand over Fulton 31-20. Final score from Parkview as Bolivar defeats Parkview 51-12 in Ozark Conference action. Other finals, Sarcoxy defeats Pierce City 28-20. Final in Reed Spring as Reed Spring defeats Springfield Catholic 56-7. Final score as Herculaneum defeats R7 16-8. And another coach with a big win tonight from Central High School, Coach Shem Johnson, kind enough to join us. I'm sure he's on a bus, but Coach Johnson, hey, welcome to the Friday Night Lights. Coach, congratulations on the big win at Cuba.
Appreciate that. It was nice for sure.
Coach, take us through the contest. Who really shined out for you? I know you had we've had a Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, and whom else played well?
Kind of went across the board. Tay had a very good game again tonight, followed by our quarterback, Antonio Starks Fuel. He ran the ball really well, made a lot of good reads to just keep it and went. Mikos Vaughn, he had a great night catching the ball. He probably had over 100 yards and 2 or 3 receptions tonight. He had 1 return for a score on a punt return. So he shined. Dre Wells, our senior strong safety, had big sixes tonight. So that really helped push us over the top tonight. So, a lot of guys got a real chance to shine tonight. We're excited into next week.
And Coach, did you come out of tonight's game relatively healthy?
We did. We have a couple guys got banged up a little bit, but a little ice, little treatment tomorrow, and I think most of them will come back fine. I mean, it was a hard-fought game. Cuba game out, everything they had. We were able to outlast them a little bit with depth.
Coach, tell us a little bit about from week 2 to week 3. A lot of improvements are made from between week 1 and 2. How do you feel like you improved going from week 2 to 3?
You know what? We went back to the lab pretty much, and we said, hey, what are we good at? And, let's go ahead and we'll start there. We have to be flawless and, I'll say close to perfect in the things that we're really good at. And if we stick to those things, you get a night like tonight to an extent. And, again, that's something we need to really harp on as coaches, is to make sure simply that we are flawless in the things we're really good at, because Marionville's going to come to our house next week, and, they're going to bring a lot of fight to us. So that's what it is. Be fine-tuned into the things that we know well, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier with a state-ranked Marionville team coming into town. What do you know about the Comets, and what are you going to have to do next week?
They're a solid team. They know exactly what they're doing all the time. That's kind of the key to teams like we played a week ago. Marionville, Stratford down the line, very experienced in what they do and what they know, So I don't fall for we got a lot of juniors or something, and, I know what they're bringing to the table, and as long as we play a solid game, we know what the result can be.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, 2-1 on the season. Congratulations on a very nice start for the Bulldogs, and we're looking forward to visiting with you down the road, Coach.
I appreciate it, guy. Thank you.
Hey, you bet. Central Bulldogs head football coach Shem Johnson, kind enough to join us here, and on Friday Night Lights on the Missouri Sports Network, and off to a 2-1 start. They get a week 1 win, 32-6 over Clever. They take on a very good Fair Grove team a week ago, and they fall in that contest, but 55-8 tonight at Cuba. Looking at other scores for those of you just tuning in here on the Missouri Sports Network, brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks. Strong roots, endless possibilities. First, the scores, the finals from last night. Francis Howell defeats Lutheran North 42-21. It was Nevada over East Newton 68-0. Holt defeats Washington 33-7. West Plains over Springfield Hillcrest 55-0. Tonight's games: Lockwood over Jasper 62-20. Albany over Mound City 60-0. St. Paul Lutheran defeats Northwest 46-6. Worth County over Bishop LeBlanc 64-12. Crystal City over Bayless 32-14. Monroe City over Highland 46-8. Salisbury defeats Paris 42-8. Maysville 30, Polo 6. Scott City over Hayti 55-0. St. Pius X over Grandview 35-0. Seneca defeats Cassville 42-7. Central over Palmyra 35-0. Springfield Central 55-8 over Cuba. Just had a great conversation with Coach Shem Johnson. Live for Life 38-3 over John Burroughs. It was Herman over St. James 38-6. Park Hills Central 55-20 over Potosi. Valley Catholic 59-0 over Fredericktown. Lutheran St. Charles 45-3 over St. Dominic. Union over Sullivan 29-12. Fort Zumwalt North 37. Fort Zumwalt East 0. North County over DeSoto 42-0. Liberty over North Point 28-24. DeSmet shuts out Chaminade 40-0. Lindbergh over Fox 35-14. Timberland over Vianney 63-13. Camdenton over Waynesville 41-8. And again, I made a mistake. This is Friday Night Live, not Friday Night Lights. All that work we put into designing the logo, and I mispronounced it. My apologies. Friday Night Live. And we'll run through some of the other finals that we have at this time before taking our next break. We are expected to be joined by Jeff Shore here coming up at the top of the hour. As we mentioned, Nix over Carthage 22-21. Lamar shuts out Monette 49-0. Webb City over Republic 35-14. Nevada over East Newton last night 68-0. Marionville 30. Lighthouse Christian 7. Lebanon over Kickapoo 31-10. Was Seneca 42-7 over Cassville. Liberty Mount View 62. Thayer 16. Was Joplin a touchdown better than Ozark 29-22. West Plains last night defeats Hillcrest 55-0. Reed Springs shuts out Springfield Catholic 49-0. Camdenton over Waynesville 41-8. Branson narrowly defeats Willard 21-19. It was Neosho over Carl Junction 55-22. Neosho has been able to put up some points this season. Bolivar 51, Parkview 12. Glendale over Rolla 32-13. McDonald County holds off Rogersville 21-14. Mount Vernon in the Battle of the Bell tonight. They defeat Aurora 24-7. Marshfield 28, Hollister 20. Fairgrove defeats Skyline 45-18. Willow Springs over Kabul 32-8. Houston defeats Salem 32-6. Sarcoxy 28, Pierce City 12. Forsyth over Clever 42-7. Lockwood 62, Jasper 20. College Heights over Greenfield 78-40. St. Francis Borgia 40. Stratford 10. Colcamp over Tipton 29-21. Liberal defeats Osceola 46-0. Russellville over Diamond 34-22. Springfield Central 55. Cuba 8. If you have a score, or maybe you're on your way home, you've got a final. We didn't read it. Maybe we haven't gotten to it yet. But shoot us a text at 417-327-6914. You can email us at at Missouri Sports Network at gmail.com, or you can tweet at Scoreboard Guy or at Missouri Sports, and we will check one more time for finals that have come across via Twitter as we look up scores right now. Maryville, a final. Maryville defeats Chillicothe 45-14. Mentioned the Branson over Willard game. And Harrisonville Wildcats, they fall to Pleasant Hill over Harrisonville 37-29. That game has gone final. Game ended at Branson as Willard went for the 2-point conversion, and it fell short with 42 seconds left. So 21-19, Branson over Willard. New Madrid County Central defeats Dexter 33-7. We mentioned the other final from you're listening to, and I got it right that time, Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Right now in the chats, if you want to chat with us, go to Facebook. You can send a note. Maybe you were at a game, or maybe you saw a great performance tonight and wants to be recognized possibly as a Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks of male or female athlete of the week. And we may run through some softball scores as we come back after a couple of breaks here. St. Pius X over Grandview 35-0. That game has also gone final. Looking for some stats here. Haven't seen anything so far tonight, but Nance gets a big stand tonight as they kind of hold Luke Gall in check, one of the best two-way players in the state, and they're able to hold him in check. And we have reached out to John Perry. Shem Johnson has already joined us. Jeff Shore will be joining us in about 10 minutes here on the Missouri Sports Network. Comments, questions, queries, you can send it to our chat here at Missouri Sports Network on Facebook. And we're going to take a couple commercial breaks here, and we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
After a long day, a few simple words can make everything better.
Pizza's here!
To end your day the right way, count on the carry-out and delivery experts at your local Pizza Ranch.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network. That was a rather quick commercial. I think it may have gotten cut off, but that's what happens when you're trying to run the show here from my living room table. I'm sorry, kitchen table, wherever I am. I don't really know, but let's see if we can update some of these scores for you. We'll go back to St. Louis Sports page and see if we can get some of those scores out of the St. Louis area, and also updating guy.net. Here's what we have so far, or it may have just come in. Live for Life 38, John Burroughs 3. O'Fallon over Wabansie Valley 40-0. DeSmet 40-0 over Chaminade. CBC 63, SLU 35. At one point, CBC had about that lead, 28 points, and SLU outscored them 22-0 to cut it to one touchdown, and then CBC went on and rolled, but the final score 63-35. Timberland over Vianney 63-13. East St. Louis fell to Creekside, Georgia 10-8. Salisbury over Paris 42-8. Springfield Central 54-8 over Cuba. Mid Buchanan shuts out West Platte 42-0. Fulton Catholic hangs on versus Louisiana 34-31. Elsewhere, Putnam County 21-18 over Milan. Parkway South 34-7 over Millville. Sullivan falls to Union 29-19 or 29-12. With Maysville over Polo 30-6 in that contest. Trenton defeats Princeton 42-6. Centralia, Missouri 35-0 over Palmyra. Eldon defeats Versailles 75-14. Glendale over Rolla 32-13. Warrensburg over Smith Cotton 23-14. And Camdenton gets a big win at Waynesville. We go now to Camdenton head coach Jeff Shore. Coach Shore, thanks for joining us.
I really appreciate it.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell us about the big win tonight.
Hey, just played a really good ball game. We really aired early. We threw for, I think, around 350 and 5 touchdowns. Bear Shore did. Cam Durnan had a big night, 5 catches, I think 170 yards and 3 TDs. Defense played well. It was 35-0 at half, so felt really good about that. And just came out, played well.
Coach, you guys right now in the season, you've had a tremendous start. You're 3-0 atop right now, among the top in the conference. What are some things you're doing really well right now? I mean, you shut out Rolla, who comes back and puts up 6 touchdowns the following week. So great defensive effort there. You come from behind last week against Kickapoo, and then the 41-8 win tonight. What are some things you guys are doing really well?
Yeah, I think our defensive line's playing really well. Coming off low, staying low. I've been really happy with that. We, even though Kickapoo put 21 on us the other night, they hit us with some big plays. But overall, we played well and got a lot of 3 and outs. We got our offense back on the field. Finally, we're able to kind of just push through and win the stamina game. You know what I mean? We stayed with it and kind of wore them down. So same tonight. Our D-line played really well. Waynesville had one nice drive on us. I felt like they did a good job. They got a nice offensive line, very, very physically big offensive lines. But our defense is playing well there, and we're throwing the ball well and catching it well. We're coming with some big plays there, scrambling when we need to. Our offensive line is blocking well, giving Bear some time. Our receivers are doing a great job of getting open. So all those things kind of combined equals, where we're at right now. So if we can keep that up, then, we got a shot.
Hey, Coach, you've got coming out of week 3. Are you guys relatively healthy?
We are. Yeah, we got a few nicks and bruises, but so far, knocking on wood, so good. So that was a pretty physical game last week against Kickapoo. I thought they were very physical, so we were a little beat up after that game, but we were able to come out tonight and kind of put it behind us, and they came out good tonight. Had a few cramps, things like that, but nothing very serious. So that's good. So cross the fingers. We keep it that way. We hate to see any kind of injuries from either team.
And you've got Parkview this week, and then you're at West Plains the following week. Obviously, Parkview's struggling a little bit. You don't want to overlook a Parkview team that could come in and beat you. What are you going to have to do next week to come out on top?
Well, what really feels good is we're going to be at home. So that's our first home game of the year. We've been on the road 3 games in a row. So, real happy to be at 3-0 at this point and get to come back home to the JOD Bob Shore Stadium and play at home. So our kids are really excited about that. So I feel like that'll be a good deal for us to get back home and play. So I think that's going to give us a big advantage that we won't overlook anyone for sure. In that situation, and being at home, like I said, really helps excitement levels. So I'm counting on that to carry us through and keep it going.
You bet. Well, Coach, I certainly appreciate you being generous with your time. I know it's kind of a struggle sometimes right after a game, but we appreciate you being part of the show and look forward to visiting down the road.
Hey, I'm just proud I figured out how to actually get on that thing. I'm an old guy. I'm not very technical. So, hey, I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for all the coverage you do to promote our high school sports and our high school football. It's for me, high school football is probably one of the most special things out there, and for you guys to cover it and give the kids some publicity that they've earned, I really appreciate it. So thanks for having me on.
Hey, you bet. Anytime, Coach. Couldn't do without you. You guys have safe travels and good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
You bet. Jeff Shore, Camden High School football coach there. They get a big win tonight, 41-8. They've got Rolla behind them, Kickapoo, and now Waynesville. They've got Parkview remaining on their schedule next week, and then they're at West Plains. They host Bolivar, then they're at Hillcrest, and then the big one. And they're all big, but the Lebanon game is at home on October 14th. They finish out with Glendale. We're running through the scores here on Friday Night Live on the Missouri Sports Network. I've said it twice right in a row now, but appreciate you tuning in here to the Pizza Ranch studio, and we are live. But first off, some scores. As we update them, as they're starting to come in, and we're getting a little bit better at this. We got a lot better from week 1 to week 2, and we are improving all the time. First off, the scores from Thursday night games. It was Francis Howell over Lutheran North, 42-21. Nevada defeats East Newton 68-0. And that Nevada team, they're in that Class 4, but they're state ranked. State ranked at number 4. They're in Class 4, but you look at, two of the teams above them, Smithville. I'm waiting on a score from them. Smithville took on an undefeated Kearney team tonight, but Smithville, defending state champion, they've won 16 in a row, and that may have come to an end tonight. I haven't seen that score yet, but Smithville's in front of them. But they're not even number 1 as the defending state champion. You got St. Mary's out of St. Louis. That's the number 1 team there in Class 4. But Nevada could make some noise. They've got a group that's very seasoned group. We talked a little bit about that with Harbit tonight, and she's an alumnus there at Nevada, and awful proud of what Coach Beechler and those folks are doing now over at Nevada. But they 68-0 over East Newton last night. Holt defeats Washington 33-7. It was West Plains over Springfield Hillcrest 55-0. In 8-man football, here on page 1, it was Bramer over Sweet Springs 74-38. College Heights defeats Greenfield 78-40. Lockwood over Jasper 62-20. Albany defeats Mound City 60-0. Oric over Concordia 52-28. North Andrew 68. Pattonsburg 40. Archie over Rich Hill 94-0. It was St. Paul Lutheran over Northwest 46-6. Worth County over Bishop LeBlond 64-12. Page 3. It was Butler over Fort Scott, Kansas 30-8. Cole Camp defeats Tipton 29-21. Crystal City over Bayless 32-14. Russellville over Diamond 34-22. Monroe City over Highland 46-8. Liberty Mount View over Thayer 62-16. Liberty Mount View is for real, because Thayer has always been for real. I know they've got a new coach, but I tell you what, 62-16, that may be the most lopsided score that Thayer has lost by in that conference. Salisbury over Paris 42-8. Maysville 30-6 over Polo. Scott City over Hayti 55-0. St. Pius X over Grandview 35-0. Elsewhere, Mount Vernon defeats Aurora. It was Ava over Mount Grove 49-28. Blair Oaks 56-13 over Osage. And Blair Oaks, I think, could be one of those Class 2 teams that might give Lamar a little bit of a run. Dylan Hare, and we had him on and may play part of that interview, or all of that interview here tonight. Dylan Hare was our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, and he just set the career total yards mark in the state of Missouri, going over 12,600 yards in his career. And with probably at least 7 or 8 games left, he may be able to put that mark considerably out of reach. Seneca over Cassville 42-7. And Seneca, Max Preston talked a little bit tonight that Seneca may be a dark horse in a state championship type run. They're Class 2 as well. They're Class 2 in that district, and we may let up. But Seneca, and they've got a great history down there at Seneca. Centralia over Palmyra 35-0. Central 55-8 over Cuba. Live for Life 38-3 over John Burroughs. Macon over Clark County 26-18. Richmond defeats Marshall 48-22. Borgia over Stratford 40-10. Herman defeats St. James 38-6. Page 4. Park Hill Central over Potosi 55-12. Valley Catholic shuts out Fredericktown 59-0. Lutheran St. Charles over St. Dominic 45-3. It was Center over Oak Grove 61-13. And Center, Kansas City Center, is a team you might want to watch out for. Union over Sullivan 29-12. Moberly defeats Winfield 39-21. Excelsior Springs over Winnetonka 35-7. Fort Zumwalt North 37-0 over Fort Zumwalt East. Jackson over Farmington 47-7. North County over DeSoto 42-0. Liberty defeats North Point 28-24. Bolivar over Parkview 41-12. Page 6. Nixa over Carthage in an outstanding game 22-21. Nixa scores with 1:54 left, got it to 21-20, and rather than go for the extra point, and I'm thinking that at about the 6-minute mark on the road against a very good Carthage team, do you have a play that you're comfortable with going for 2 points? And it was a fade route to the left side of the formation, perfectly thrown football, and the 2-point conversion was good with 1:57 remaining, and then 2 plays later, Nixa picks off Carthage to seal the game. DeSmet over Chaminade 40-0. Glendale 32-13 over Rolla. Lebanon 31-10 over Kickapoo. Lindbergh defeats Fox 35-14. Timberland over Vianney 63-13. Camdenton defeats Waynesville 41-8. CBC over Sleuth 65-35, and this was it was a close game at one time. It was a close game at the beginning, 0-0. Then CBC looked like they were going to run away and hide. And then Sleuth scores 22 unanswered points, cuts it to a touchdown, and then CBC continued to go run away and hide, 63-35. Lee Summit North over Staley, 47-21. Pattonville defeats Hazelwood West, 55-8. And our Saturday game, St. Mary's, Kansas at Bowling Green. Northeast Kansas City at Central Kansas City. Roosevelt at Gateway. Marquette at Hazelwood Central. Normandy at Hazelwood East. Chaffee will be at Kelly. Parkway North is at McClure. Parkway West is at McClure North. Lutheran South is at Priory. Lafayette is at Riverview Gardens. Edwardsville, Illinois is at Soldan. Hannibal is at Troy Buchanan. East Kansas City is at University Academy. And MICDS is at Westminster Christian. Certainly glad that you have tuned in, and we appreciate you being part of the show. And now a little note from our Team of the Week sponsor, Country Financial.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a time like this, in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's a lot better now.
It was like a huge weight lifted.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. Certainly glad that you have tuned in here. You can watch or you may just be listening. My camera is off, just my voice here. We have reached out to Coach John Perry from Nixa and to see if he may be able to join us live. And he is able to join us live. And welcome to the show now, Nixa Eagles head football coach, John Perry. And Coach Perry, my goodness, Doesn't get any more exciting than that, but as old coaches used to say, you had them all the way, didn't you?
Well, I don't know if we had them all the way, but we got them in part of the whole thing.
Coach, what an outstanding game, and props to your defense and your preparation there. But tell us a little bit about the game and any changes you had to make at halftime.
Well, I thought at halftime, I felt really good about it because they had scored. We had the ball 2 times, scored once, didn't score the other time, had a couple, kept us out of the end zone. But the 2 scores that they had, took the 24 minutes, but a bunch. So I thought when we got in there at halftime, we was in pretty good shape. We were going to get the ball. That we were right where we wanted to be, whereas last year they jumped out on us, really catch up the whole time. So we thought, at halftime we're going to be in pretty good shape. So, defensively, man, we were running to the ball, we were rallying to it. I thought we were hitting them pretty good. Second half, defensively, we just kept playing, and we ended up getting a couple of turnovers. When we had a couple of plays at the end of the ball game, went for 2 in the win, and a ball game.
Coach, that last drive there before the interception that sealed it, but that last drive was 6 minutes to go. You take over. When do you start thinking about, hey, if we get in here, we've got to play. We have a 2-point conversion play that we're going to use if we get in, depending on the clock. When do you start thinking about that, and what role did the clock play in that?
Well, over, we had already, I told the kids in the huddle that if we would go down there and score, we'd go for 2, win the ball game, and get the heck out of town. So we as coaches had started talking about 2 or 3 2-point plays into the game. We work on them every week. We were talking about, there was a little bit of discussion on which one. So we ended up going with one that, if we had scored with about 4 minutes to go, we were probably going to kick the PAT fence again. But then we messed around and scored more around. It was under 2 minutes. We went with the 2-point play that we felt good about. And to be honest, he wasn't open. He should be a lot more open than that. But he made a great play and then was able to, with a great kick, end zone, make them have to go 80. Got the interception to seal it. But it was for our kids and for our program.
Yeah, it's you're talking about you've had 2 or 3 of the biggest wins in Nixa history in the last couple of seasons. You talk about going for that 2-point conversion, but I thought your defense did an outstanding job all night long on Luke Gall, who may be the best 2-way player in the state of Missouri.
I think Luke Gall is one that I've coached against in my 29 years, with the other 2 being Cam Akers, who plays running back, and Brian Darden, who played at the University of Tennessee about 25 years ago. He is a football player, plays every single snap. And I thought our defense, man, I'll go back and look. When's the last time they've been held to 21 points? I'm going to say that hadn't happened in a long time. Stop, man. They are committed to running the football. They're committing to running it with a great running. And, I thought our defense was absolutely fantastic because there were times when we got ourselves in the foot and sent the defense back out there. But, they kept making plays and ended the game that gave us an opportunity.
And it had to have been a tremendous atmosphere. I was not there, but I can only imagine what it's like to go there. And, I mean, this was touted as probably the game of the week or maybe even the game of the year in the entire state. What was the atmosphere like?
Man, it was great. They opened the stadium doors at I don't know, and our students come flying in that gate and filled up the section, and their side was full. It was a great high school environment, and that's about Nick's the other way. The whole community's jumped on board and, supports us. And, man, it is a great lot of fun, and tonight was one of the most fun nights ever.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, I certainly appreciate you being generous with your time. I know you're on the school bus, and but here at the Missouri Sports Network, you're always welcome. You've always been generous with your time, and we greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, and thank you for the job y'all do. Y'all do a fantastic job.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much. Have a great day, night, and tomorrow, and a safe travels. John Perry, head coach at Nixon, just a tremendous win, and the atmosphere was tremendous. And watching it, I didn't really see anybody get chippy on the field. I don't remember any personal foul penalties or anything like that. It was just a great high school game between two of the best teams in the state of Missouri. And what you would come to expect or hope for was a tremendous game, and it came down to an interception with under a minute to play. Because Carthage was not out of that game at 22-21 with a minute 57 left. They just needed to go about 60 yards and have a shot at a field goal, but an overthrown pass and ends up getting picked off. But a tremendous night there, and really handled Luke Gall, who I believe is probably one of the best two-way players in the state of Missouri. What he does at running back when he comes around the corner, and we talked a little bit about this, today on High School Game Day. He comes around the corner, you're going to have to make a business decision. He's a big, fast running back who runs behind his pads, and he's going to punish you on that tackle. But just a tremendous athlete, and has had a tremendous career. And hey, they can still win Class 5, and they can still win the COC. I mean, Nixon still has to play Joplin. They've got Carl Junction out in front of them as well, and Joplin's a very good team. They've got to play Ozark, who hung around with Joplin today, and Ozark is going to get better throughout the season. But anyway, hey, we certainly appreciate you tuning in, and we're going to step away. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to hear from Chevy dealers of the Ozarks.
You want to go out, Walter? Let's go. Pace yourself. You call that defense? Make it quick, buddy.
One evening as the sun
That
went
should
down,
shed some light on the subject.
was burning.
Where'd you get that bone, pal?
How you doing? I got a package for you.
No, Walter! He's a civil servant!
That's
incredible. Oh, yeah. It's a Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. This thing's built for off-roading right from the factory.
No, I meant the cat.
It's like nobody's seen a cat before.
The Chevy Silverado Trail Boss.
Hey, Walter, let's get this man some hot cocoa.
Oh, that sounds good. Find new friends, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Pizza Ranch serves buffet your way.
Don't you mean my way, Mr. Voiceover Guy?
Sure, anyone's way, actually. Request your favorite pizza. We'll make it, bake it, and give you the first slice.
I can add peppers to pepperoni, Stampede on stuffed crust, maybe Texan taco on thin. No tomatoes on my half. How can I convince Mom to let us eat here every night?
It's buffet your way at Pizza Ranch. Say it with me, kid.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network here for Friday Night Live here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, Missouri Sports Network on Facebook. Chat box is up if you'd like to chat. Comments will appear right on the camera here live in the Pizza Ranch studio presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks. Running through some finals here. At this point, Lamar 49-0 over Monette. Webb City defeats Republic 35-14. Nevada over East Newton last night 68-0. Lafayette County defeats Warsaw 49-7. Marionville over Lighthouse Christian 30-7. Lebanon defeats Kickapoo 31-10. Seneca over Cassville 42-7. Mountain Grove falls to Ava 49-28. Liberty over there 62-16. Joplin 29, Ozark 12. West Plains shuts out Hillcrest last night, 55-0. Reed Spring over Springfield Catholic, 56-7. Camdenton defeats Waynesville, 41-8. It was Branson over Willard, 21-19. Neosho defeats Carl Junction, 55-29. Bolivar over Parkview, 51-12. Glendale defeats Rolla, 32-13. McDonald County over Rogersville, 21-14. Mount Vernon over Aurora in the Bell Bowl, 24-7. Marshfield defeats Hollister, 28-20. It was Fair Grove over Skyline, 45-18. El Dorado Springs defeats Buffalo, 40-36. Willow Springs over Cabool, 44-22. Houston defeats Salem, 32-6. Ash Grove over Stockton, 36-14. Circoxie over Pierce City, 28-20. Forsyth defeats Clever, 49-28. Lockwood over Jasper, 62-20. College Heights over Greenfield, 78-40. St. Francis Borgia, 40-10 over Stratford. Colcamp defeats Tipton, 29-21. Liberal over Osceola, 46-0. Miller defeats Agape, 54-18. Russellville over Diamond, 34-22. And Springfield Central over Cuba. You're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Hey, I'd like to hear what game you were at. The weather here, we're 12 days, 11 days, I guess. No, where does it? Out of fall. The weather's kind of starting to change. I actually went out this morning at about 4:30. Could see my breath. And it feels so good in the wintertime when you when you can see your breath, you're alive. And it just feels good to get that cool wind in your face a little bit here. Not cold, just cool, but just shorts and sweatshirt, and football season. And in 12 days, it will be fall, and things will start matching up here, and we may run through some of the district standings at this time. First, we'll run through the scoreboard just once again here one more time as we refresh this. We'll see if there's been any updates on Twitter as far as scores. And we certainly appreciate Coach Jeff Shore joining us here, Coach Shem Johnson, and Coach John Perry joining us here as well as we look at the mentions here at Scoreboard Guy and Mac Whitehead. Coach Whitehead sends us the final there as Russellville defeats Diamond 34-20. Colcamp remains undefeated at 3-0 with their 29-20 win over Tipton. They go on the road. Colcamp does next week at Lone Jack. The Lincoln Cardinals now are 2-1 as they defeat Crestridge 48-6. They'll be on the road at Windsor next Friday night. Warsaw is 2-1 now as they fall to Lafayette County 49-7. Warsaw next week at Sherwood in the first of their Ozark Highlands conference matchup. Ozark Highlands again, Sherwood, Warsaw, Buffalo, Butler, I believe, is in that conference as well. Maybe even El Dorado Springs, and Forsyth 49-28 over Clever, and they win. We've read the Mount Vernon final. CJ over Neosho, or falls to Neosho, 55-29. Maryville over Chillicothe, 45-14. As we check the St. Louis area scoreboard, and they've been pretty good about getting those scores up. Dave Queedall does a foul for high school prep sports there at the St. Louis Post. Live for Life over John Burroughs, 38-3. That was early game today. Slough falls to CBC, 63-35. Timberland over Vianney, 63-13. DeSmet shuts out Chaminade, 40-0. East St. Louis falls to Creekside, Georgia, 10-8. St. Pius X over Grandview, 35-0. Collinsville, 47. Alton, nothing. Bayless falls to Crystal City, 32-14. North County over DeSoto, 42-0. Oberly over Winfield, 39-21. I know a lot of these scores are We're reading again. But hopefully, we've got new listeners. And they're always coming in as I check the listenership right now. 41-8, Camden defeats Waynesville. Camden 3-0 in the Ozark Conference. And you're looking, I believe, West Plains is 3-0 as well. They get the win last night over Hillcrest. They defeat Bolivar in week 1, and then they get the come from behind victory over Glendale. So right now, West Plains, Lebanon, and Camdenton are all undefeated in the Ozark Conference. And we'll look at maybe the schedule for next week in that conference. Jackson defeats Farmington 47-7. Helias defeats Columbia Battle 58-16. Seneca over Cassville 42-7. Savannah shuts out Kirksville 29-0. Lindbergh over Fox. Lindbergh 3-0. Lindbergh over Fox 35-14. I was going to try and play a little bit of that high school game day today, but the file's too large for me to load it into my video clip section here. But we will hear from Dylan Harrod at Blair Oaks here in just a minute or two, and head coach Ted LePage as they get a victory as well. An interview from earlier this week. Bolivar Parkview 51-12. Rockwood Summit defeats Parkway Central 50-14. Hillsborough over Fort Zumwalt West 49-13. Still have a final from Stockton and Ash Grove. Reed Spring defeats Springfield Catholic 56-7. Blair Oaks over Osage 56-13. Fort Zumwalt North shuts out Fort Zumwalt East 37-0. It was Brookfield falling to South Shelby 40-36. North Callaway falls to South Callaway 34-28. South Callaway on top there. Liberty North over Rockhurst. That was one of the more anticipated games in the Kansas City area. Liberty North ranked number 1 in Class 6. Rockhurst down, I believe, at number 5 there, 6 in Class 6. Maybe 5 right behind Nix, I believe. But Liberty North 10-7. Rockhurst is going to be a team to be dealt with. And I believe they're in the same district as is maybe Lee Summit North. But you can tune in to High School Game Day. You can go to our Facebook page at Missouri Sports Network on Facebook. You can go to the Missouri Sports Network on YouTube. And just pull up that High School Game Day from earlier today. We had the pleasure of visiting with Dion Clisso, who is the managing editor at PrepsKC, prepskc.com. At Max Preston, who is the new sports director at KODE KSN there in Joplin. Bailey Harbit, who's a former sports director there, who's now at Lindbergh High School. She's taken over a role there in media, which is very appropriate for what she does. And we certainly appreciate her and Dion and Max being part of the show. And that's something that's going to be a weekly staple. Maybe not all the same cast of characters, but we will definitely be bringing that. Had a lot of fun doing that today, and we'll try and rerun that episode tomorrow, as well as running this. And you can go. This is probably show number 400, just in the 14 months that we've been doing this, and over 5.5 million hits to the show. And we're an hour into this show, and I don't know what the viewers are, but if you're in your car, just shoot me a message over Facebook. I don't care if you're a referee coming home from a game and you're listening to this show. Hey, shoot me a message. Just go to Facebook, look up Missouri Sports Network on Facebook, and you can do it on Twitter as well. You can respond to Scoreboard Guy on Twitter, but I'd like to see those chats. I know we've had Bob and Bill, and got a nice note today from Mike, as we recognized our team of the week from last week was the Sherwood girls softball team, who had come down, a small school, come down and played in the Morrisville tournament with, I think, Carthage. I know Carthage was there, Republics, had some bigger schools to deal with, and as well as Morrisville, and Camdenton, I believe, was in that tournament, and they won it. They were 8-0 or 9-0 at that time, but anyway, that's kind of some things that we enjoy doing. If you've got a Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week nominee, male or female, shoot us an email at gnewcomb. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. Shoot us an email at Missouri Sports Network at gmail.com. That's Missouri Sports Network at gmail.com. I'm going to play an interview I did earlier this week with our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, Dylan Hare, and head coach Ted LePage. Dylan is quarterback and has been for 4 years quarterback at Blair Oaks High School. He's got two older brothers that were outstanding athletes at the quarterback position there as well. And Dylan talks a little bit just about his season. Coach LePage talks a little bit about their season. But with no further ado, here is that interview from Blair Oaks High School and head coach Ted LePage and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, Dylan Hare.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective, and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Well, hello once again, friends and family from across the state of Missouri. Guy Newcomb, the Scoreboard guy, coming to you live from the Pizza Ranch studio here on the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Central Bank of the Ozarks, Doak Propane, Great Southern Bank, the Bank of Billings, Shelter Insurance, and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, who reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Labor's Local 663, we go to Blair Oaks High School and head football coach Ted LePage and our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, quarterback Dylan Hare. Coach LePage, thanks for your guys' time this morning.
Appreciate you having us.
Coach, first off, let's talk a little bit about the season up to this point. You guys are 2-0. You finished 9-3 a year ago. The roster looks full, but maybe only 10 or 12 seniors on the roster.
We're predominantly still a junior team. Last year we were mostly a sophomore team, but Dylan and there's several seniors that lead by example have done a great job. Dylan, of course, is going to be a 4-year starter for us, and we have 3 young men that are going to be 3-year starters for us. So our senior class is really strong in talent, not large in numbers, but we like what we've seen so far in Maryville and Luther North, 2 predominant powers. Being able to come to that 2-0 with guys like Dylan lead us is sure got a good start for our season.
Yeah, and you go from Class 3 down into Class 2, and a lot of times that'd be great news, but there's a lot of good Class 2 teams.
Well, anywhere you play, you're going to play great teams, and that's what we try to do. We didn't know we were going to be going Class 3. We had the largest senior class we'd ever had in Blair Oaks last year, and only had 5 seniors on the team play football. So we lost about 20 kids off of our school attendance, so that put us back down. We were the smallest Class 3 for 2 consecutive years. So I guess now we're one of the bigger Class 2s, but that doesn't matter. We're going to play whoever's in front of us. And our motto for this year is just go 1-0 every week. And I think Dylan kind of said that last year in December. We're going to go 1-0 every week. So that's all we worry about.
Well, tell us a little bit about Dylan Hare. He's our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week. And he just became the all-time career leader in total offense at 12,614 yards. Tell us what makes this young man so special.
Well, he's got 2 older brothers that played for Blair Oaks and were extremely successful. Great family. His dad runs our Junior Falcons program. Scott Hare, his mom's heavily involved. But just a humble, good, hardworking family that likes to be involved in their kids' lives. And Dylan had a brother, that Nolan Hare, that starts up at Truman now. And Nolan played for me when we won the state title in 2018. Extremely talented young man. And Dylan was around a lot. He was in 8th grade. And in between his 8th grade and freshman year, we had 2 quarterbacks vying for his quarterback spot. And then there's a little freshman came up, and we scrimmaged CBC during the summer that year. And Dylan kind of led the team better than anybody else. And it was a wake-up call for all of us that he's a freshman, but he can do this. Extremely talented, but more importantly, extremely humble and hardworking. Wants the best for the team, which is rare in this day and age. But he excelled as a freshman. Sophomore year was player of the year in Class 3 in the state of Missouri. Won state title as quarterback. Last year went 9-3. Season didn't end the way he wanted to. He's had an incredible offseason. he can throw it as well as he runs it, but he runs it better than he throws it. So if you can make anything out of that, he's pretty talented. But the biggest thing he does is he gets his teammates involved. I always say a great quarterback is never as good as what they make the other players around them. And it's very, very few and far between that I've had guys make the other players raise their level of play the way he does when he's on the field.
Well, Dylan, first off, on behalf of the Missouri Sports Network and Chevrolet, congratulations on being named Male Athlete of the Week, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
First off, did you have any idea that you were getting close to this milestone? Was someone in your ear saying, hey, you only need 30 more yards or 50 more yards, or do you have any idea?
No, I had no clue until the next day I saw it on Twitter.
Very good. That's kind of when I saw it. That's when I became aware of it. And so 12,614 yards. Do you remember going back to your freshman year? Do you remember maybe that first touchdown or that first big game you had?
Yeah, I remember, like Coach said, CBC. I mean, I kind of just went in there and played. And then, of course, playing Maryville, just went in there. And, I mean, I had all seniors and juniors around me, so they kind of led me there.
As you look back on the first two games this year, what are you and what is the team doing really well right now, early on in the season?
Well, I think it started in the off season and then just getting better every day at practice.
Do you have a particular play when it's called? Do you have you don't have to tell me what it is, but do you have a group of plays or your favorite play when it's called?
Yeah, I got a few of them.
You got a few of them?
Yeah.
If 2022 Dylan Hare could go back to that 2018, that freshman Dylan Hare, and give him some advice, what advice would you go back and give yourself as a freshman?
I'd probably say, just don't worry about it and go out there and play and have fun.
Were there games on your schedule this year you were looking particular forward to? I know you had a couple losses, regular season losses a year ago. Are those games maybe that you're looking forward to, or is it just whoever's next?
It's whoever's next. I mean, just week by week.
Now, I know that you've gotten a few offers at the college level. Do you have any idea maybe where you're leaning, and maybe even what area of study? What are you going to study? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to be a business? What are you looking forward to?
I've decided right now, but I'm thinking more towards the sports medicine area.
Very good. Do you have family in that arena?
I think Nolan's going into it a little bit.
Very good. Very good. Well, Dylan, once again, on behalf of the Missouri Sports Network and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations. And you've still got a lot of season to go. You can put that mark probably out there where it's going to be hard to get to.
Thank you.
You bet. And Coach LePage, again, thank you so much for setting this up here for Dylan and for us. Again, congratulations to you as well. It takes someone's got to be pulling the string, and obviously you've done an outstanding job with Dylan and that program, and we look forward to catching up to you down the season.
Well, thank you. You probably got Dylan to say more than he said all season. Dylan's not a man of many words, so for you to get a functional sentence out of him is truly remarkable.
Hey, it was an honor and a privilege, and if he decides to come this way, and I know his options are wide open, but we'll look forward to watching him, and best of luck as you go through the season, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again down the road.
Thank you.
You bet. Ladies and gentlemen, Blair Oaks head football coach Ted LePage and quarterback Dylan Hare, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Labor's Local 663. Keep it right here at the Missouri Sports. Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network here on MissouriSportsNetwork.com for Friday Night Live. No wonder I keep saying Friday Night Live. I've got it typed up right down in the captions. So that is my fault. I'm going to change that right now. Certainly glad you tuned in wherever you may be listening from. We certainly appreciate you patronizing us tonight. Literally patronizing. That may not be a word, but good heavens. I'm struggling. But hey, 10:42. Hey, car, make sure everybody is buckled up. 3 seconds. Takes you 3 seconds. 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. On the scores from last night, Francis Howell over Lutheran North 42-21. It was Nevada over East Duke 68-0. Hope over Washington 33-7. West Plains defeats Hillcrest 55-0. On eight-man football from tonight's games here on page 2. Kramer over Sweet Spring 74-38. College Heights over Greenfield 78-40. 78-40. It was Lockwood over Jasper 62-20. Let me just check something here real quick. Albany over Mound City 60-0. South Nottaway over Nottaway Holt 52-0. North Shelby over Thorburn 46-26. Oracle for Concordia 52-28. North Andrew 68-40 over Plattsburgh. Archie over Rich Hill 94-0. Santa Fe over St. Joe Christian 70-58. St. Paul Lutheran defeats Northwest 46-6. Worth County over Bishop LeBron 64-12. King City over Stanberry 42-28. Adrian over Lone Jack 46-13. Brentwood over Confluence Prep 41-0. With Butler over Fort Scott, Kansas 30-8. Full Camp over Tipton 29-21. Crystal City defeats Bayless 32-14. Russellville over Diamond 34-21. East Buchanan over North Platte 55-12. Monroe City over Highland 46-8. Liberty Mountain View over Thayer 62-16. Salisbury defeats Paris 42-8. St. Vincent over Perryville 38-7. Lathrop over Plattsburgh 44-6. Maysville over Polo 30-6. It was Trenton over Princeton 42-6. Sarcoxy defeats Pierce City 28-26. Fayette over Scotland County 28-10. Scott City over Hayti 55-0. South Shelby over Brookfield at 46-30. St. Pius the 10th over Grandview 35-0. Wellington Napoleon over Midway 41-6. Mount Vernon over Aurora 24-7. Ava over Mount Grove 49. 49-28. Seneca over Cashville 42-7. Centralia defeats Palmyra 35-0. Central Springfield over Cuba 55-8. Eldon over Versailles 74-14. Fair Grove defeats Skyline 45-18. Holden over Clinton 41-12. Lister Life 38. John Burroughs 3. 26-18. Macon over Clark County. Reed Spring over Springfield Catholic 56-7. Richmond over Marshall 48-22. Southern Boone over California 29-28. Borgia defeats Stratford 40-10. Herman over St. James 38-6. Lafayette County over Warsaw 49-7. Park Hill Central 55-20 over Potosi. Did that to me last time. Park Hill Central 55, Potosi 20. Valley Catholic 59-0 over Fredericktown. Savannah 29-0 over Kirksville. Lutheran St. Charles 45-3 over St. Dominic. Benton over St. Joe Lafayette 44-13. Hill defeats Sullivan Sullivan falls to Union 29 Louisville. Louisville 12-6 over Martin. Louisville over Whitfield 39-21. So we'll check our settings here right quick. Check 1, 2. Well, we've got good audio here. Now we'll see if it's still good audio. If you can let me know, can you hear me? We'll be okay. I think the audio is better. Now, Louisville over Winfield 39-21. Excelsior Springs 35, Winnetonka 7. Fort Zumwalt North 37-0 over Fort Zumwalt East. Jackson over Farmington 47-7. McDonald County over Rogersville 21-14. North County over DeSoto 42-0. Liberty over North Point 28-24. Oliver defeats Parkview 41-12. Fort Osage over Belton 20-6. Nixa over Carthage 22-21. DeSmet over Chaminade 40-0. Eureka defeats Kirkwood 31-30. Glendale over Rolla 32-13. Elias defeats Battle 56-18. Lebanon over Kickapoo 31-10. Lindbergh defeats Fox 35-14. Parkway South over Melville 34-7. Platte County over North Kansas City 25-14. Cape Central or Cape Girardeau Central 14-7 over Poplar Bluff. Timberland over Vianney 63-13. Camdenton over Waynesville 41-8. Whip City 35-14 over Republic. Blue Springs South over Park Hill 50-49. CBC defeats SLU 63-35. Lee Summit North 47-21 over Stately. Park Hill South 22-12 over Lee Summit West. Hatfield over Hazelwood West 55-18. Liberty defeats Raypeg. Liberty North defeats Raypeg 10-7. And our Saturday games: St. Mary's, Kansas at Bowling Green, Northeast Kansas City at Central Kansas City, Roosevelt at Gateway, Marquette at Hazelwood Central, Normandy at Hazelwood West, Chaffee at Kelly, Parkway North at McClure, Parkway West at McClure North, Lutheran South at Priory, Lafayette at Riverview Gardens, Edwardsville at Soldan, Hannibal at Troy Buchanan, East Kansas City at University Academy, and MICDS at Westminster Christian. Coming up now, we have our Chevroleters of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment again from Forsyth High School. Zach Strahan and head coach Chris Conley were kind enough to join us earlier today. We'll play that interview right now here on the Missouri Sports Network Friday Night Live.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, hello again, sports fans, and welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Coming to you live from the Pizza Ranch studio and presented, as always, by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Great Southern Bank, Doak Propane, Pizza Ranch located in Springfield, Missouri, with 7 locations across the state. Shelter Insurance, Labor's Local 663, and the Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. We go down south to Forsyth High School, and head football coach Chris Conley. Coach Conley, thanks for being part of the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited about it.
Coach, 1-1 on the season. Tell us about how the season's gone thus far in a very young Forsyth program.
Yeah, it is a young program, and I think we're starting to get people and the school excited about football. But yeah, a solid start to the season. 1-1 right now. Started off real strong on the road versus El Dorado Springs, and really got some things rolling there. And Zach was a big part of that. And then we took one on the chin versus Buffalo this last week on the road, and it was a pretty good football game. Zach had a heck of a game here and did a really good job keeping us in it for about as long as we could. And then Buffalo pulled away a little bit at the end. But, we got a very talented young team, and Zach's one of the few seniors we got. That's a heck of a football player and does good each and every week.
Coach, tell us a little bit about, before we get to our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week here, Zach Strahan, but tell us a little bit about your background, how you arrived at Forsyth, and where'd you go to high school and college?
Yeah. All right, man. Sounds good. So I'm actually from Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm an old Jaybird. I played football and wrestled in high school there. And then I initially played football at William Jewell College there in Liberty, and that's where I started and whatnot. But I ended up transferring to University of Central Missouri, and that's where I graduated from there and whatnot. And then I began my coaching career. I started a year in Jeff City, and then I was at Knob Noster for about 5 years, and then head football coach at Sweet Springs. It's a small school up north, just west of Columbia on I-70. Was there for 6 years, and then down here for my third year down in Forsyth, and got the ball rolling down here with a great group of kids and whatnot. So.
What and Coach, I know we talked about being just 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What are the numbers like? You kind of break it down per class. I know you've got not a real big senior class, but a lot of underclassmen.
Yeah, we do. We have about 5 seniors on the football team. A good chunk of freshmen. We got about 10 freshmen, about 10 sophomores, and then about 7 or 8 juniors. So. Just trying to get those guys, to stick with it and whatnot is, I think, kind of the key. So,
well, the young man sitting to your right, Zach Strahan, 6 receptions, 257 yards, 10 rushes for 52 yards, 309 total yards, 3 touchdowns a week ago. Tell us a little bit about him and the position he plays and what makes him special.
Yeah, Zach, he plays our slot running back, which in our offense is perfect for him. I mean, Zach's a heck of a receiver out of the backfield, obviously. He's also a very talented runner with it, averaging over 5 yards a carry, in that game. And, we just try different ways to get Zach the ball. And he's got great hands. He's very fast. He sees a hole and he hits it in full stride and runs really tough. And, he does a really good job for us, and we find ways to get him the ball. And he's a dual threat receiver, runner, and causes a lot of problems for other teams.
Well, Zach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the Missouri Sports Network and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations on being named a Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week. And Zach, tell us a little bit about the game last week. I mean, looking at the receptions, it's 43 yards a catch. What did you have? Obviously you had to have some big gains.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I got to give credit to my quarterback, Aaron. I mean, he's got an absolute cannon. He can sling it 60 yards when he needs to. So, I just make a read coming out of the backfield, and we've got good chemistry. Played together since we were both freshmen. Started that chemistry there with the deep ball, and it's just kind of carried over to now and just making big plays.
So when did you, and I know Forsyth, are you a lifer? Are you from Forsyth?
I'm actually from Kirbyville, which is neighbors to Forsyth, but we don't have a high school, so I came here my freshman year. So,
all right. So was that first year as a freshman, was that your introduction to football?
Yeah. So I probably played like flag football when I was young, but I never really had an opportunity. And actually, my mom didn't let me play football until my freshman year. She still doesn't like me playing football, but I just kind of went with it and figured out I liked it and I was good at it, so I just kept on playing it.
Yeah, she's at all your games, though. I promise.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think she sits there with her eyes closed most of the time, but yeah, she's there.
All right, Zach, do you? Well, since your freshman year, is this a position that you've been playing at this running back position?
Yeah. So my freshman year, actually, we had a different coach. He's actually the head coach at Reed Spring this year. He was here for 1 year, so I started out playing a slot receiver, and then coach came along, and I kind of went from a wide receiver position to the slot position once we had guys move on and kind of filled that role, which is the slots being kind of the main part of our offense. So just yeah.
And again, we're visiting with Zach Strahan from Forsyth High School, our Chevaliers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week. And Zach, do you have that play when it comes into the huddle where your eyes kind of light up? Are you over there lobbying coach? Hey, can you call this play? Can you call? And you don't have to tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Do you have that play?
Yeah. So we actually wear wristbands, and coach yells from the sideline, and we don't huddle. So yeah, there's times where I'm like, yeah, I know I'm getting the ball. So yeah, it's a good time.
All right. Well, again, Zach, on behalf of Chevaliers of the Ozarks and Missouri Sports Network, and congratulations. Best of luck. You guys taking on Clever tonight. What do you know about Clever?
They're newer than us as a program. I think they've had a couple rough years in the past, but so did we. And I mean, they're on the uphill climb, and we're gonna have to play good to shut them down. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you play any other sports?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm a starting point guard in basketball, and I play center field in baseball, which I plan to play baseball collegiately. So,
Any particular area of study are you looking at, or are you just whoever's going to give you a scholarship?
Probably C of O. Yeah, he's giving me a scholarship offer to go play baseball at C of O. So,
a little connection there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And my nephew actually plays at C of O.
Nice.
So
Nice.
And really enjoys it. It. But again, Zach, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back to Coach Conley. Coach, what do you feel like right now you're doing as a team? You're doing really well here 2 weeks into the season.
I'd say, offensively, we really hadn't been stopped a whole lot. We usually just, there's a few times in the game we had some penalties that kind of, stopped ourselves really. But offensively, we're playing really well, and pretty balanced. I think first game, we relied on the run a lot. Second game, we still had about 150 rushing yards, but then we had, over 300 yards passing. So I think being really balanced, which I think leads to making us tough to stop. You can't just sell out on the run. You can't just, leave the box empty and sit on the pass. So I think having the athletes to be able to do that really makes us tough to defend.
You bet. Well, Coach, we appreciate you being generous with your time here on a game day. Zach, again, congratulations, and hopefully we'll get to visit down the road sometime.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
Thanks
watching.
for having us on.
You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com. Certainly glad you tuned in. And, hey, be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Run through one more time the scores before we jump off the air. I hope everyone has either made it home safely or is heading that way safely. One more time through the scores here on the Missouri Sports Network at scoreboardguide.net. From Thursday night, it was Francis Howell 42, Lutheran North 21. Nevada shuts out East Newton 65-0. It was Holt over Washington 33-7. West Plains defeats Hillcrest 55-0. On Friday night games, first an 8-man football here on page 1. It was Bramer over Sweet Springs 74-38. Greenfield defeats College Heights defeats Greenfield 78-40. DeKalb over Southwest 22-20. Schuyler County defeats Keatsville 52-14. Lockwood over Jasper 62-20. Albany over Mound City Albany over Mound City, 60-0. South Nottoway defeats Nottoway Holt, 52-0. It was North Shelby over Norburn, 46-6. Oric over Concordia, 52-28. North Andrew defeats Pattonsburg, 68-40. Rich Hill falls to Archie, 94-0. It was Santa Fe over St. Joe Christian, 70-58. St. Paul Lutheran over Northwest, 46-6. Worth County over Bishop LeBlanc, 64-12. King City, 42. Stanberry, 28. And here in page 2 is Adrian over Lone Jack, 46-13. Brentwood defeats Confluence Prep, 41-0. Butler over Fort Scott, Kansas, 30-8. Cardinal Ritter over Duchesne, 35-6. Colcamp defeats Tipton, 29-21. Crystal City over Bayless, 32-14. Russellville over Diamond, 34-22. East Buchanan over North Platte, 55-12. Monroe City, 46. Highland, 8. Liberty Mountain View, 62-16 over Thayer. Father Tolton, 34-31 over Louisiana. Salisbury, 42-8 over Paris. Lawson over Penny, 32-21. St. Vincent over Perryville, 38-7. Lathrop over Plattsburgh, 44-6. Maysville defeats Polo, 30-6. Trenton over Princeton, 42-6. Sarcoxy in a narrow win over Pierce City, 28-26. Fayette over Scotland County, 28-10. Scott City over Hayti, 55-0. South Shelby over Brookfield, 46-30. St. Pius X over Grandview, 35-0. Wellington Napoleon, 41. Midway, 6. Wright City, 21-6 over Mark Twain. Mount Vernon over Aurora, 24-7. Ava over Mountain Grove, 49-28. Blair Oaks over Osage, 56-13. Willow Springs over Kabul, 44-22. Seneca over Cassville, 42-7. Palmyra, 35. Centralia, 35. Palmyra, nothing. Springfield Central, 55. Cuba, 8. Eldon over Versailles, 74-14. Fairgrove over Skyline, 45-18. Boonville, 59. Hallsville, 58. Holden over Clinton, 41-12. Live for Life, 38. John Burroughs, 3. Lincoln College Prep over Pembroke Hill, 48-7. Macon over Clark County, 26-18. Marshfield defeats Hollister, 28-20. Reed Spring over Catholic, 56-7. Richmond defeats Marshall, 48-22. Holden over Salem, 32-6. Southern Boone, 29. California, 28. Borgia defeats Stratford, 40-10. Herman, 38. St. James, 6. Lafayette County, 49. Warsaw, 7. Park Hills Central over Potosi, 55-20. Valley Catholic, 59. Fredericktown, 0. Savannah over Kirksville, 29-0. Benton over St. Joe Lafayette, 44-13. Lutheran St. Charles, 45. St. Dominic, 3. Center over Oak Grove, 61-31. St. Genevieve, 42. Orchard Farm, 17. Pleasant Hill over Harrisonville, 37-29. Union over Sullivan, 29-12. Owensville, 12-6 over Warrenton. Moberly defeats Winfield, 39-21. Excelsior Springs over Winnetonka's, 35-7. Fort Zumwalt North, 37. Fort Zumwalt East, 0. Hillsboro, 49. Fort Zumwalt West, 13. Jackson over Farmington, 47-7. Kearney defeats Smithville, 20-19. That ends a 16-game winning streak for Smithville. McDonald County, 21. Logan Rogersville, 14. North County over DeSoto, 42-0. Liberty defeats North Point, 28-24. Bolivar over Parkview, 41-12. Rockbridge, 48. Jeff City, 27. Festus over Windsor, 36-12. Fort Osage over Benton, 20-6. Capital City, 35-26 over Hickman. Nix over Carthage, 22-21. DeSmet defeats Chaminade, 40-0. Eureka over Kirkwood, 31-30. Francis Howell, 34. Fort Zumwalt South 7. Glendale over Rolla 32-13. Elias over Battle 58-16. Lebanon defeats Kickapoo 31-10. Lindbergh over Fox 35-14. Parkway South over Melville 34-7. Platte County 25, North Kansas City 14. Cape Girardeau Central 14, Poplar Bluff 7. Ruskin over Wyandotte, Kansas 41-6. Timberland over Vianney 60-13. Camdenton 41, Waynesville 8. Webb City over Republic 35-14. And page 6. Blue Springs South 50-49 over Park Hill. CBC over Slough 63-35. Lee Summit North over Staley 47-21. Liberty North 10, Rockhurst 7. Seckman over Northwest. Joplin 29, Ozark 22. Park Hill South 22, Lee Summit West 12. Pattonville over Hazelwood West 55-8. And your Doak Propane Saturday games. St. Mary's, Kansas at Bowling Green. Northeast Kansas City at Central Kansas City. Roosevelt at Gateway. Marquette at Hazelwood Central. Normandy at Hazelwood East. Chaffee at Kelly. Parkway North at McClure. Parkway West at McClure North. Lutheran South at Priory. Lafayette at Riverview Gardens. Edwardsville, Illinois at Soldan. Hannibal's at Troy Buchanan. East Kansas City is at University Academy. And MICDS is at Westminster Christian. You've been listening to, and I know I went over. But when I was listening to this show 20 years ago, I'd be in my pickup. I didn't want it to go off. I wanted to continue. I wanted to hear the scores one more time. But I tell you what, to everyone who was part of tonight's show, from the coaches to our athletes of the week, we greatly appreciate your time. We greatly appreciate you tuning in. We'll get this up and get it archived, and we will run it again tomorrow morning on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Visit us at Missouri Sports Network on YouTube, Missouri Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere. Well, I'll tell you this. It's been a long night, but we didn't make any of this up. Thanks for tuning in. Good night. God bless.